That's how much straw is in my thing. Oh man, it's never gonna come clean. I need my pickup truck bad, Tyler. Sad thing is, after putting all that straw down, I had about that much in my clothes too last night. But we got this all finished up. We were a little short last night. I had to go get 2 more bales, so that was 5 bales of straw put down on there. Nothing over here I'm gonna hit, right?
Shouldn't be. Just watch how it drops off here. Close to our.
Leaning the wrong way. Let it come down there a little bit. Stop here. Is it coming forward at all? Or no? Yeah, maybe it's draining the thing. So.
Keep going.
Can you see the little tube for it?
Just keep going. I'm gripping on the couch right now.
Oh, sorry. Trim the driveway stuff a bit.
It was on my list. Didn't get that far.
Heading up north, just on the north side of Nashville on I-65, heading towards Kentucky. It's a super hot day, low to mid-90s, it's very humid, feels like 100. Running with the air conditioning on in here is pretty comfortable. Mini splits running, off of the solar of course. It's starting to rain a little bit, of course, because we're recording. At 70, we're currently doing 59. Not by my choice. There's a big hill coming up that if I hit it at 50 in the 50s, it's going to really drop us down. So people need to get going. Alright, propane on. Lane change. 186, but he climbed it like a boss. What are you doing, Lenny? Of course it's raining hard.
Did you expect anything else with us?
It's not working, man.
I don't know, it probably feels pretty good. The radar lied to us. Said that there was rain east and west of us, but not where we're driving through.
I remember radar's always like 10 minutes behind, at least in the public.
People need to turn their lights on.
I don't think my wiper helps a whole lot.
Your wiper is special.
Well, Lenny is being a little temperamental right now. Yesterday we stopped for fuel on the way to Indy, and when we went to start to leave the truck stop, click, 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 the starter didn't want to do anything. So I came back here and tapped with a hammer a couple times. It started up. I thought, well, the solenoid's probably gumped up from sitting for a long time. Drove it home, got to our home in Indy, went to come here this morning, and it was the same thing, click, 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 banged it with this hammer a couple times. It started right up. Now I'm over at Chris's shop. Went to move the bus, just click, 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 and no, it's not doing anything with the hammer. And then the starter motor itself was smoking, so it's done. I do carry a spare, so we'll see how this goes. One more minute. So I have this spare starter, but we can't clock it the same because the nose cone's a little different on it. When we put it in, the bolt that holds it on goes right up against there to have it at the right position. It is a left-hand rotation. I even confirmed on here that it says counterclockwise on it. So we're going to try and swap the nose cone from this one to that one and see if that'll work. Yeah. Okay, so I'm out here working on Tom Feller's MCI. It's custom coach conversion. Just going through all the wheels, the hubs, and brakes on everything, and taking a look at it. And then there's a leak in the air system where the treadle's leaking back through when the parking brake's on, which I assume is the PP2 valve. So we ordered a new one of those. A lot of modern trucks have a PP1, the push-pull for the air brake, for the spring brake, and PP2 is what goes on these with the DD3s. It's got a little different connections on it, but we'll get this apart here and see how it's doing and inspect the bearings, the seals, the brakes, and everything here. First thing, I started removing these screws. They all do move, and the last person that was in there actually used Never Sees on them, on the little screws, so that's good. Okay, got all those out. Just on an initial inspection here, one of the previous bolts is broke off in there for the cover. even though these are oil caps here, they are obviously grease, and that is a lot of grease in there. I'm very curious to see, has somebody just been pumping grease in there? I don't know. I've never seen that much grease in there. It needs to be able to breathe and stuff too, so that doesn't look normal. We'll get into it, see what we got. All right, so that grease is just packed in there and old looking, but not dirty. But I think it was just squirted in on the end, honestly. What's between the bearings looks a little different. The gasket is broken. It was reused and then permatexed, and I would expect to see some water damage inside here possibly, but we'll see. The brake drum doesn't want to come off of the hub. I'm not going to fight with it, because I'm pulling the bearings anyways. I'll just pull it off as one assembly. Big hit with the big sledgehammer, it'll fall right off, so I don't need to waste the energy in this tight confined area trying to get it separated. I literally took one finger on this. That's crazy. Let's open up. This thing doesn't want to spin by hand, so I've got to use the spanner on it. It's got like bad threads on it or something. It just gets to a spot and that's it. Oh, man. It looks relatively new, the nut, so I'm guessing there was something wrong with the old one. It burred the threads up a little bit and they replaced it. I mentioned that I thought I'd see water in here because this gasket was broken, and you can see the rust color behind here, which means that bearing is what rusted. Jeez. Gonna have an hour in labor just removing the nut. Yeah, that color inside of your bearings is never a good thing. Oh. It's gonna fight to the very end. I'm really curious as to how much grease is inside of this sucker. A ton. You're not supposed to put that much grease in there.
I think you're being generous calling that grease.
It's not even really touching the rollers anymore. You see, they actually look dry. Other than where I smeared my fingers on them. Yeah, it's turned into a very hard. It's not the normal consistency of grease. Get the gravity assist here. Oh my God. You can see that seal is pretty crusty. And there's been water back in there too. And you can tell that the race there, or the wiper is kind of nasty too. So seals need to be replaced. Look at this. Look at that. That's not good. I mean, that's halfway out. That's supposed to not be like that. There's supposed to be a bolt, I think, on these MCIs that hold it in here. So that's going to require a little bit of work. So the reason this anchor pin is almost all the way out is the bracket for the speedometer is what actually holds it in. There's a little lip on it there, and this is a wide piece of metal that holds it in place. But you can see how far that screw is out, or bolt is out. This has been flopping around and whacked it a few times too. So I just asked Tyler, like, was he complaining about a speedometer not working? Because I assume that's, Yeah, so when that comes back in all the way, that can hold the anchor pin in and stop the anchor pin from falling out, but we almost lost our brake there. I don't know if it's going the right direction though.
Somebody's oversight because we had problems with the other side too.
So this side's got the same thing where it looks like somebody's just been squirting grease into the middle here because it's all red. So this side, let's see if it comes apart. Nasty looking grease, but this side there's not seeing any sign of water, and the gasket isn't broken like it was on the other side. But we're going to replace all new gaskets and seals on here. We'll see how tight everything looks in there in just a minute. All I did was remove everything. Let's see. Yeah, that's wow. That's a lot of slop in there. Definitely a little bit too loose on the wheel bearing. Loose is always better than too tight, though. A little bit of sign of water in there. You see the rusty color. That's not brown grease. Well, it's brown now, but it wasn't originally brown. So the seal's probably leaking in the back because I don't see here. This is pretty clean. Those bearings shouldn't be flopping around like that. The grease is hardened and it's not really touching them, so they're pretty dry. You can see how caked in. It's just nasty. But yeah, the grease should stop them from rattling like that. Their individual rollers are flopping around. That is way too much grease to be inside of there. Absolutely crazy that somebody would put that amount of grease in there.
And none of it's on the rollers. Sure.
None of it's on the rollers, yeah. Look how clean. The new leaf spring for my bus. It's got one brand new leaf in it, and then the other ones are off of Sage's bus, but they weren't saggy and worn out like mine, so hopefully we'll get that on there and everything will be good to go.
His tools, check the air and all those duels. It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? Well, he's got a long hard ride in old Lenny the Silver Sides. Get that bus grease monkey on the road. Well, he's got that hammer down and that 47 Hound. It's that bus grease monkey on the road. He travels all around and he's coming to your town. Get that bus grease monkey down the road. See that 4104 with the propped up engine door. Watch that bus grease monkey do his thing. 30 years behind that barn, 'cause it don't run worth a darn. Watch that bus grease monkey make it sing. He knows in Detroit there's no doubt, upside down and inside out. It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? Saving buses far and wide in that old blue Silver Sides. It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? Now he's moved his family to the hills of Tennessee. Watch that bus grease monkey make his home, bringing buses back to life with the help of his dear wife. Watch watch that bus grease monkey get it done. Well, he travels town to town working on them old greyhounds. It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? Saving buses far and wide in old Lily the Silver Sides. It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know?